Hi, I'm Victoria with Folkwear, and today I'm going to show you a little bit about the crochet detailing that comes with the 203 Edwardian Undergarments pattern. So we're starting out with our slip knot, and then we're going to chain 24. I'll show you a little bit of the chaining here, and then I'll show you some of the stitches that are required to make up the body of the stitch pattern. So you just pull through little loops to chain. Be sure to chain with the long end connected to the ball of yarn and not with the tail. So the first stitch that we're going to do is the single crochet. So you pull one loop through, then yarn over, and pull that through both of the loops. So to do that one more time, we're going to insert into the chain or the stitch below, pull the yarn through to make one loop, and you'll have two on your hook, and then pull a yarn over through both of those. Make sure not to yarn over before you insert the stitch for the single crochet. The next is the half double crochet, and that one is featured a lot in this pattern. What you do is yarn over and then stick it into the chain or the stitch below. Then you pull through, and then you pull it through all three like that. So one more time. You yarn over before you insert into the space below, pull through, you'll have three loops on your hook, yarn over again, then pull it through all three, like that. Finally, we'll have the double crochet, which you yarn over, insert into the stitch or the chain below. You'll have three on your hook, yarn over again, pull through just the first two loops, and then you'll yarn over one more time and pull it through those two, like that. So one more time, yarn over, insert into the stitch, you'll have three, pull it through the first two, yarn over one more time, and pull it through both, like that. The only other thing that you'll be needing to know for this pattern is a slip stitch, which is pulling the yarn through and then pulling it through the other loop like that. You don't yarn over, you don't add any additional loops, you just pull yarn through both loops like that, and you can use that to attach segments together. So I have made a foundation row of single crochets as per the pattern, and one of the first things that are unique to this pattern is the frilly edge. I can't think of a better term for it, so that's what I'll call it. And the way that you make that is you chain 5 at the end of your row, and then you're going to count down. So I'll chain 5 and then I'll turn, as is common with crochet. And then you count down to the 5th chain from the hook, which you don't count the loop on your hook. You count down 5, and it's right at where the edge of the work below sits. And when you find that spot, you will do a half double crochet. So you yarn over and do your half double crochet like so. This yarn wanted to split on me a lot. And pull through all 3. Wonderful. And you can see on the finished test piece that I've done what that looks like once it's been repeated a few times. Now I am going in every other space here. The pattern calls to skip, and so that's what this starts to look like. And the first formation of the petal, so to speak, you chain 2, and then you continue your half double crochets like that. You don't skip anything here. But what happens once you work a few more rows is that these 2 chains become kind of the top petal. And then from here, I've continued to do half double crochets, and we're working on our second petal. So you chain 2, and then in the center of where we just did the chaining in the last row, we're going right into, I did it around here, but you can also work into that middle chain if you want to be more precise. And that's a double crochet there for you. And then you continue the second half of that row the same way that you did the first. And then working on our next petal, we're chaining. We're working into that loop. And continuing with our row as per the instructions with half double crochets in each space below. So once we've made our chains to make this petal, we're working into the post that we've been forming with working those double crochets in the center of our pattern. And we're just slip stitching that for this row. And then we continue with our half double crochets and chain one pattern as per the instructions. And you can start to see the flower starting to take shape here. And this is where we start to decrease. We've made the widest petal in the last row, and so we are starting to decrease the sizes of the chains that make up the petals. And we are slip stitching into that same post. And then the last thing to be mindful of with this pattern, once you've chained, in all the rows where we are going from the largest width to the smallest, so basically once we've made our half flower, we're working around the chains in the row below, the chains of the petal there. And that is going to be recurrent in every remaining row until we're done with the second half of the flower. And there we go. That's you can start to see the flower taking shape here, and we can compare it to the other finished test piece I did for this pattern. I do want to note that I am using a giant yarn compared to what would be used. The gauge here is supposed to be about 8 stitches to an inch, and the one that I've been working on for this demonstration is about 2 to an inch. So it's just for demonstration purposes. I hope that you find this little video helpful. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and I'm sure that we can demystify this process for you. Thank you so much for watching.